Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. For the new subscribers, thank you for subscribing. For the viewers, thank you for clicking this video. So in today's video guys, I am going to be breaking down how I was able to catch 300 pips trading the GBP JPY and how you can potentially do the same every single week. Right, as you can see guys, my chart is looking clean. Right, so my area of interest is looking spot on. So I'm going to explain everything in detail and how I was able to do this. All right guys, so stick with me to the end of this video because you will be gaining a lot of value from this. Now, in order for me to explain how I was able to do this guys, let me break down how everything started. Right, so essentially guys, as you can see, right, price was right here when I was looking at the chart. Right, and before all this move happened, the price was bullish, right, creating higher highs and higher lows. And essentially guys, I was waiting for price to either retrace to this area of interest and then buy up, or break below this previous low for the trend to change from buys to sells. Right, so essentially what happened was basically, price came to this area here, retraced 50%, which was very good, and then gave two identical entries here. As you can see, these two look alike, right? So that this is basically like a shooting star, or we call it a hammer, right? So I seen this and I was like, okay, I'm going to actually change my bias from sells to buys, and I took the sell here. And also guys, if you look to the left, if you look like way back in the far history, right, you're going to see that where price gave that area, or where price gave that signal, right, price also has an area of interest there too. So like I said, you always take your trades from your area of interest, but in this case here, there are actually two area of interest, right, if you look to the history far back. Right, so essentially I took this trade here, and price shot up, gave me a nice 1 to 3 weeks to reward. Right, so this was my first trade. Now guys, stick with me because let me explain to you how I was able to catch 300 pips. All right guys, so how I was able to do this was just basically looking at the daily time frame. Right, so essentially, right, so this is actually the trade that I took right here. As you can see, I took it, cut it from the top all the way to the bottom, right? But yeah, essentially guys, in the daily time frame, we always like to mark our area of interest, right? So essentially what happened was, price actually reached an area of interest, which was literally right here, as you can see. And the reason for the area of interest was basically, as you can see here, right, you can see there's a clear demarcation between the buyers and sellers, right? So like I told you guys in my ebook that I explained, if you guys don't have the ebook, you can always click the bottom of this description to look at the ebook. But essentially guys, I told you we use the area of interest, right, to understand the demarcation between buyers and sellers. So on the left hand side here, you can see that price is a little bit confusing, but on the right hand side you can see price is a little bit easier to read, right? If I told you to take a trade, you can clearly take a trade from your area of interest. So in this case here, this was the daily area of interest, right? Because as you can see, notice how these wicks were rejecting, right? So above this blue line, price was literally buying, right? Above this blue line, price was literally buying. Even though price broke, it still respected it, right, by breaking and then retesting, as you can see here, and then selling back down, as you can see here, right? And then same thing too, right? But the point is guys, price reached an area of interest, and then if you notice again guys, before this wick created itself, it was literally a whole bullish candle, right? So literally this is literally what price was at that time, right? So literally this bullish candle right there, so something like this, right? And like I told you guys, please stick with me guys. I know if you want to understand how to trade, you have to watch this video. All right, so basically price was literally like this, right, when I was watching price. So I now looked, okay, based on what I'm seeing guys, like the daily candle has never really like gone more than how many pips. If you notice, like 400 500 pips guys, like that's usually how high the daily candle can reach. You understand, right? So if you notice guys, like literally like for weeks, you see how the daily candle, or like the bullish candle here, is just very short, but like the sell candles, like this candle here, is very long, right? But the buy candles are really not that long. So I was thinking the same thing too, that if the buy candles are not really that long, then it's either price will likely retrace down and just consolidate around this area, for price to then now close like something like this and then continue buying up like this, This is basically what I was anticipating, right? So essentially, when price reached this daily area of interest, I was anticipating the drop. And as you can see, guys, literally price gave an entry right there, right? So if I go back to my other chart, price literally gave an entry right there, right? So this entry is called a shooting star entry, right? As you can see, boom, this entry right here was a shooting star entry. And I'm not gonna lie, guys, I was kind of hesitative because I was waiting for price to kind of buy up a little bit, but I was like, nah, I'm just gonna take this trade. And honestly, guys, this trade, you know, I would have actually taken this trade earlier on, right? This would have been a much more high risk to reward. But as you can see, guys, I took this trade and literally, guys, boom, you know, I literally had, you know, 2 trades opened, right? So I had a buy trade, right? I was thinking, okay, price will likely keep buying, so I had my buy trade here and I took 80 to 90% partials and I put my stop loss at break even, right? And then I took a sell trade again, and then literally, guys, I just, you know, set like a lot, and literally, guys, I'm not even gonna lie to you, I literally dropped my phone and within 5 seconds, or is it 2 minutes, I literally seen my alert go off. Like, what the? And I checked my trading view and I was like, damn, price literally sold all the way down here. And as you can see, guys, it's looking to keep selling. So again, same thing too, right? The daily time frame, this candle is very, very long, right? So likely price has stopped here. We might see, like, you know, continuous sells, because at the end of the day, the daily time frame is still technically, you know, bearish. And if you notice, guys, this was the low, or this was the high that price needed to break for the trend to change from sells to buys, right? So I'm not even surprised that price literally reversed from this area here, because again, guys, let me break this down for you in the ICC concept, right? It's really simple, right? So if I show you right here, you can clearly see, right, that for a reversal to happen, price needs to break the previous, right, the previous low. So in this case here, as above so below, if I zoom in like this, price needed to break this, right? So assume this was the daily time frame, price was literally approaching the previous high, so of course it had to decide either it's going to break or it had to sell. And in this case here, price literally decided to sell, right? So this is how you can be able to catch, you know, 300 pips, guys. And also, guys, make sure you don't have your stop loss, I mean, make sure you don't have your take profit opened. Feel me? Like, my take profit was literally opened, guys. I don't have it set. I only had my stop loss set, guys, and this was how I was able to catch this move, most importantly, because my stop loss and my TP was clearly opened. I did not have it set to anything. I just left it opened, right? So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys gained a lot from this. If you do want to access this ebook, guys, like I told you, click the link at the bottom of this video. Just give me your name and your email and you're going to get the link to this ebook, right? Like I said, I always update this almost every week. I recently update this recently, you know, adding, you know, few things, like, for example, just like what we just learned today, how to predict 300 pips, right? I was able to learn this too, right? Like, know when the daily candle, you know, is exhausted by comparing candles and anticipate a drop from the area of interest. So in this case here, if you have this ebook, you would know, you know, in next week or in the future, that okay, when I see price in whatever pair, you know, approaching a daily area of interest, and I say that okay, you know, it looks like this candle, you know, has bought or it has been exhausted, then I can, you know, look for, you know, opposite of whatever is going on right there, right? But I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I hope to see you guys in a different video. Peace.